You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Used vehicles are on the rise, but so are the prices. Joining us on today's show is Nate Myers, who's the used car director at Inside Automotive Group right here in Atlanta, where we're headquartered at CBT News, to discuss strategies and trends that he's seen in the marketplace today. It is a crazy market out there right now, Nate. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. There was a time not long ago that your used cars were actually appreciating while they sat on your lot, and that's not the case today, is it?
No, not those days are past us.
So talk to us. How is the market looking today?
I think the best way to explain it would be like taking a roller coaster ride at an amusement park.
Yeah.
Some weeks are up, some weeks are down. A lot of it's just having the right strategy for the market that you're in and understanding what to stock. You know, some of the markets are softening, but then there's still some very strong market segments that I personally think will stay strong probably for the rest of the year. So it's just navigating through it one day at a time.
Sure. What segments would those be that you feel good about?
I think your sedan market is going to stay pretty strong with gas prices remaining elevated, and we haven't seen summer gas prices. So I think any of the sedan segment, subcompact or even compact SUVs will probably hold on a little stronger than others. The segments that I personally think that you're going to have to keep the close finger on that could change week to week would be your full-size SUVs, your luxury SUVs, your higher priced items. The more fuel efficient items I think will do better than the non-fuel efficient.
Yeah. So talk to us about that. Where do we stand on the whole EV thing? Now the cars are coming in on trade, or maybe you're even out buying them. Are you to the point yet where you're buying off the road or at auction EVs?
Yeah, so we'll always buy something off of the road. We do buy EVs at a very small margin rate. I think a lot of that is understanding the EV market. Obviously, taking the tax credit on the used and understanding how to apply that can obviously be beneficial to you in situations. But it's really unique to your market, right? Like our stores here in the Atlanta market, there's a lot more openness to accepting that.
Yeah.
Where we have 2 stores in Montgomery, Alabama. I probably wouldn't really put too many EVs down on that marketplace right now, just because it seems to be the demand is still on the gas side.
Yeah. Are you now seeing some of the vehicles that you put out on the road on the new car side, or the used car side for that matter, back 3 years ago, where you couldn't get enough cars, they were bringing all kinds of dollars. Many new cars were being sold for prices way over sticker price. Are you having to deal with those consumers today on the trade-in part?
Yeah, it's definitely disrupted the trade cycle. Obviously, again, very specific to the manufacturers, but you're seeing it. I mean, as new cars come down and they sell for MSRP or they sell for closer to invoice, I think you're going to continue to see that. It's definitely disrupted it. I would tell you that 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago, if you had somebody come in and you would look at it, and if somebody had negative equity upwards of $4,000 or $5,000, you would kind of look at yourself and be like, okay, I got some work to do here.
Yeah.
Where now, I would raise my hand for that scenario. I think you're seeing people that are $10,000 to $15,000 flipped.
Ouch. Yeah, that hurts, right? Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Do they take it out on you when you talk to them and you say, here's what your car's worth, and like, what? I just bought it here 3 years ago from you guys.
The feedback I get from the stores, because I bounce between all of the stores in the organization, is that there's definitely some people that you catch some heat on, but I think there's a lot of people out there that understand it, right?
They get it. They just get it.
I mean, the easiest way to compare it would be some housing markets, 08, 09, 2010. Some people just had to stay put a little longer than they would have liked of,
Sure.
Right? Some parts of the country came back quicker, which I think you'll see certain segments adjust themselves quicker. But you just have to explain to people why, and I think some of them understand it.
Yeah, for sure. And as far as buying cars off the road, you guys did that. Did you do that before COVID as well?
We do. We do buy cars from consumers off the road. We did that before COVID. Well, I'm going to assume they did because I wasn't with the dealer group then. But I think everybody that did it some capacity. But the one area, during COVID, there was a lot of focus on buying cars from the consumer, buying the cars in the service drive. It's become more challenging of late. I think that's all tied to this consumer, the inequity that a consumer has
Yeah,
trading their car in. To your point, cars were appreciating. So people had, some people didn't need two cars or they didn't need the third car
right.
and took advantage of cashing out at an
Sure.
all-time high.
Yeah, sure. That's for sure. Are you seeing during these times of higher interest rates, are you seeing consumers that are coming in and not qualifying for vehicles through the lenders that you've got? And then the follow-up to that is, are you seeing an increase in slow pays, people that are, just not making their car payment on time and it's affecting their credit?
Yeah, you're definitely seeing that. You have the people that come in and they can't buy car credit wise. You're also seeing a lot more either, people paying cash for a car. I think like finance penetrations are down,
Sure.
or you have a lot more people that are really, finding a credit union that you may not have access to in your network, but is on a national level and you just can't compete.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And what kind of a turn do you guys adhere to? Is it a 30-day or 60-day turn?
Perfect scenario would be a 60-day turn. There are some exceptions to the rules on some of that we review case by case. Obviously, certified pre-owned vehicles we look at a little bit harder, just because, for example, we have a Honda franchise. Everybody knows how challenging that is to acquire inventory for a Honda store.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just forcing to dispose that car at 60 days and just go buy another one to have another Honda CPO may not necessarily make sense.
Yeah, yeah,
But we've definitely tightened the belt there, and I think everybody's doing that. I
yeah.
mean, focusing on honestly right now, I would tell you if you could do a 45-day turn, you would be better off than 60 because the prices they're fluctuating
Sure.
all over the place.
Yeah. What percentage of your cars that you're getting in on the used car lot came from trade-ins?
We're probably so right now I would say we're closer to about 40 to 50% on trades.
Okay.
And we do a good job of trying to keep everything. One trend I've noticed, and even talking to some people that do my roles at other different dealer groups, I don't know if you've heard this, but I've actually started tracking the miles on the cars that we're wholesaling
Uh-huh.
because we're wholesaling more cars than we were a year ago at certain stores overall as a group. But when you dive into it, you're wholesaling you're getting cars with a lot more miles on them than you were seeing a few years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's some of the consumer that waited that didn't need to buy a car,
Yeah.
right, through all this and didn't want to pay over MSRP. I think you're seeing some of those people come into the market, and as a result of that, you're seeing higher mileage trades.
Yeah. Will you keep if it's a nice car, let's say it's a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old car, but it's in great condition, but it's got 85,000 miles on it. Will you keep a car like that on your used car lot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as it passes our safety inspection and meets our standards that we
Yeah.
feel is comfortable to provide a safe car to the consumer.
Sure.
I mean, we'll keep a car with 100,000 miles on it and maybe a little bit over depending on, the brand and the history of the car.
Sure. Interesting. Wow. Back in the
But
day,
I'm talking about average miles on, like I could take one store last month that wholesaled, true wholesale outside the organization, 22 units, and the average miles was 170,000 miles on those
oh
cars.
my gosh. Wow.
So yeah,
That-
we're not, I'll take a trade with 90,000 miles if it's nice, but we're seeing, and that's an average, right? I mean, we're seeing some 200, 300,000 mile trades come
Man,
in
That's something.
particular Honda stores.
Well,
So,
when you think about it, the cars are being built better today. The technology is incredible across all brands and models, and there just isn't quite that need of that obsolescence, being built in as they used to do in cars, where you actually needed a new car every 36 or 48 months. That's just not the case now, right? You can keep a
No.
car 10 years and be pretty happy with it.
and you're right, and you're spot on by, especially some of the different manufacturers have built such a better product
Yeah.
over the last 10 years. In particular, if you look at the Kia Hyundai lineup, I look forward to seeing some of their product come back and trade.
Yep.
That's 2, 3 years old today, because they really have. They've improved the quality of the vehicles. I mean, we know a lot more. They've done a good job in a lot of different areas that
Yeah.
people are comfortable buying those.
That's right. It's crazy. Well, thank you so much. Nate Myers, used car director at Sons Automotive right here in Atlanta. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. I know that our viewers and subscribers get a lot out of your visit, so thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.